Thank you for auditing the always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who isn't going to be talking about new music today. See, I'm going to be going on vacation for a couple weeks, and it'll be a long time, so I shouldn't leave you without some dope thoughts to sleep to. So I'm going to be talking about what I think is the best comedic song in a TV show. So just think like what are the great comedic songs in TV shows? There have been a lot. I mean, The Simpsons has tons of them. You know, Who Needs the Quickie Mart, Planet of the Apes, so many great ones from there. Dayman, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia comes to mind. A whole bunch of songs from Bob's Burgers. There's a lot of great music songs from comedy. But I would put forth that Misbehavin' off of season 1, episode 5 of The Righteous Gemstones is the best. It's the best in terms of how funny it is, how good of a song it is, and then sort of how deep it is. Because a lot of those other songs are funny, but they don't quite have a resonance with the plot and with the greater themes of the show in the way that this song does. Now, I've actually already done a video on this song. 6 people viewed it, and then it was taken down by HBO. So I'm not going to be able to play it for you. So click above the banana, above Baby Billy, to watch the video of the song. Because it's not just that the song is good. I think that the entire scene is a masterclass in movie making. And I get it, it's for TV. And it's made by a director who's not particularly respected. David Gordon Green has done the most recent Halloween movies, which I think are all good. So, hey, everybody who thinks he's a bad director, I don't know what to tell you. Those are good movies. But really watch. You know, and maybe I'll have it in the back just with no sound, you know? Because if I have sound on, then I'm misbehaving. Sorry. Just trying to fix this here. So what is it that makes this song so great? Well, first of all, we have the context of it in the show. So it's in a flashback with Eli Gemstone, John Goodman, the main character, the patriarch, with his wife, who we know is deceased in the show. So it's a flashback. You only ever see her in flashback, played by Jennifer Nettles. She is one of the best like ghost characters in a TV show because you never see her alive, but she's always present. You know, I mean, Laura Palmer. You know that when I'm trying to think of great ghost characters, I think she's really amazing. Amy Lee, and then of course Walton Goggins is her brother, Baby Billy, of Baby Billy Biber Bonker fame. So this is an interesting scene because a couple things are happening. The most important is Baby Billy represents Amy Lee's life before she met Eli. They had a whole career as child singing songs on the Christian singing circuit. That's why he's called Baby Billy, because he used to be a little baby, and his name was Billy, and it was amazing. You know, he was like a child prodigy. So what you see is the discomfort that Eli feels as the spotlight is taken away from him by Baby Billy, and how much his wife just gives into it. And all the way throughout the show, the way that it's filmed, Baby Billy and Amy Lee are just majestic. They are just these statuesque singing gods. And I understand the hair is funny. It's 80s hair, and the makeup is funny. It's 80s makeup, and the song is funny, and we'll talk about why it's funny. But the song is very catchy. The dancing is very good. It is total entertainment. And the entire time, you have John Goodman, who's de-aged, but still acting his oddly thin face off, just sitting there and trying to pretend like he's okay with what's happening, with having the focus being taken away from him. You know, so that's the setup. You know, and again, we're not going to hear it, because if you hear it, then all of a sudden, I get hit with copyright strikes. So here he goes. He's got his clogging shoes on. Everybody claps, and they are all excited that they're going to perform, right? If I do this any other way, HBO is going to take this down. So they get together. There he goes. He takes his seat, and he just watches. And then we have this great hero scene and this hero movement where they're in this amazing lighting. I mean, really amazing lighting and this amazing performance. And what's great about this song, and with any comedic song really, is when the greatness of the song makes you lose sight of the comedy. Because I've had this song stuck in my head ever since I first heard it. My wife, who I'm sort of making this video for, she makes me play this song like once a week. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but she really likes listening to this song. And it's because it's funny and it's because it's a good song. But let's actually take it deeper. It's a goof, right? It's a goof song. But it's a goof song, it's a satire of Christian music, which, especially Christian music for children, which often presents a very strange world, a very strange moral world, where some things are good and some things are bad. But as we go through the lyrics, what we find, what we uncover in these lyrics, is a very unsettling home life, a very restrictive, repressive society that's essentially a surveillance society. I'm not going to talk about Foucault, but I could, where we're really like living in this world where we internalize our own behavior and we conform ourselves to a series of authorities. Mama told me not to, I did it anyway, misbehaving. Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving. So immediately we have the initial arbiters of authority, mama and daddy. Pies on the windowsill, swimming in the creek. Okay, so I guess eating pies on the windowsill, we're really back in a sort of pastoral 50s image of what America's like. Swimming in the creek? Like, is that really bad? Okay, catching crawdads and playing with a stick. This is going to be our first... Listen, baby Billy is always coded as being effeminate and potentially either bisexual or gay. That's part of the way he is framed. It's a question that we often wonder, much like one of the Gemstone sons, is he just so repressed? Is being gay such an impossibility that he just represses it? I would say playing with a stick feels to me like that's intentional, right? Just two little country kids outside misbehaving. Okay, so that's our first round of authority. Second round. I wore lipstick and I got caught shaving. So here we have the next layers where they're outside misbehaving. Sorry, I mixed up the lines. This actually came before. I'm still not going to edit. Deal with it. That misbehaving is wearing lipstick, making overt signs of your sexuality, and got caught shaven. Now, you should be clean shaven, but it's almost as though his misbehaving is growing up itself. Later, teacher said don't, but I said it anyway, misbehaving. Preacher said no, if you do, you're going to pay, misbehaving. So we have a teacher says don't say it. What are you supposed to say? We don't know. What was she going to say? We don't know. Preacher said you're going to pay, misbehaving. All of a sudden, we're in a different world, We're in Dante world, okay? Like, you're going to pay. You're going to go to hell, all right? So we have a teacher saying, don't say this. Daddy, mama, teacher, preacher. Kicking and spitting and cussing out loud, running through the house with a pickle in my mouth. The funniest line in the whole show, one of the funniest lines, I would argue, in TV history. Running through the house with a pickle in my mouth. And the way that she acts this out, she goes, like this, okay? So we'll go through the rest of the lyrics there. I wore lipstick and I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving. Okay, watch the way this happens here. Teacher said don't, but I said it anyway. Misbehaving. Here, watch the way she reacts to pickle in my mouth. Just this acting. Obviously, what in the world does this mean? This is one of the most randomly assembled jokes of all time. It's clear. Pickles are phallic objects. Running through the house with a pickle in your mouth. This is not anything anyone does. I think that's the subtext. I think we're supposed to infer from how Faye, his arm movements are here, that this is what was misbehaving. So we have a sort of negative, bizarre world here where one's essence, obviously, one's essence, one is gay, that's how one's born, it's not something one chooses to be, is being repressed. It's a form of misbehaving. And then there's the turn. We thought we was just messing around till we met that man in the thorny crown. Funny And here we have the introduction of Jesus to save it. He taught us that tricks and mischief lead to Satan. From now on, there's no misbehaving. So here we get the actual saddest part. Mama, won't you look how I've been good now, I'm behaving. So she's trying to get attention from her mother for behaving. I think we should probably assume that she's not going to get that attention, that she gets attention for misbehaving, but not for behaving. Daddy, won't you listen? Don't go missing, I'm behaving. Okay? So now it's a little tiny joke. Daddy, won't you listen? Don't go missing, I'm behaving. But we now have the idea that if this boy embraces his own homosexuality, then his father will leave him. And it's still funny. I comb my hair and I brush my teeth, I make my bed and I eat my greens to wash my hands to keep away from Satan. So no more tricks and no more misbehaving, but and they do a little dance. And it's great. But the ridiculousness of combing your hair and brushing your teeth against the other concepts of behaving shows how random and how meaningless behaving actually is. It's a song about behaving that reveals how pointless it is to behave, and the weird punitive system that keeps children from misbehaving, that leads to fundamentally a lack of any real morality or understanding of good and evil, because it's just a question of punishment or not punishment or abandonment. That's why it's the best comedy song, because it's really funny and it's really deep, and it ties into the themes of the show itself, where these characters are real Christians who really believe in what they're doing, but they're also real charlatans who are just trying to make money off of the faith of others. And they're never sold as villains, and they're never sold as heroes, and it's very complex. It's a very complex take on faith. It's a very complex take on people who monetize faith, and it does not leave us with any easy answers. All right. Have you seen it? Have you seen the show's third season? I'm waiting. So far, it hasn't grabbed me like the first two seasons, but at the very least, it gave us Misbehavin'. There's the camera.